Hello, my name is Juan Pablo Gil. This is my final project of English for Skills. My final project was a comic that we made in Comic Creator. Basically, we used the props on the app, like the girl, the boy, and the scenes. And my story is about a girl that how can I say, the girl that had a long-term relationship with his boyfriend, but she didn't like the idea. So, like, even though her boyfriend loved him a lot, she couldn't help the long-term relationship. She was very. The decision that she had to take was very difficult because she loved Carlos, but as I said earlier, she didn't like the idea of being in a long-distance relationship. So she had a friend named Sofia that helped her with the decisions she had to take. One day, Sofia was in her room and she heard a knock in the door, and it was her boyfriend, her boyfriend Carlos, waiting for her in the door. So, Carlos stayed at his parents' house. So they started planning that they wanted to move together. And Andrea agreed. She was thinking about it, but she said that he didn't have to worry about the distance, that it'll work because they talk every day and they could visit each other as much as possible. She knew that Sofia, the friend, knew that Carlos was the one for Andrea because he was fighting for her, no matter the distance and no matter that they weren't together. So Carlos took Andrea's hand and said, "We're going to make it work." And Andrea, she was very happy because they were going to still be boyfriends and maybe not in a long-term relationship, but they had to be. Carlos had to be dedicated to something. He wanted to study in another country, and Andrea had to respect his decision. So, Carlos left, and Sofia was very sad because he only saw his boyfriend very shortly. Sofia made a decision to move with him, and the facial expressions of Sofia and Carlos changed a lot because they knew they were going to be together. And Sofia and Carlos were already together because they were in a very long-term relationship. Andrea one day got a text message in her phone. It was of Daniel, because Daniel liked Sofia, but Andrea didn't like Daniel back. So she confessed to her boyfriend, and her boyfriend got very mad because Daniel was his friend. And one day Daniel confronted Carlos, and Andrea told him all the truth. Andrea told him that how do you say? Well, Andrea told him that she had to tell Carlos something, and Andrea said that Daniel was flirting with her. So Andrea didn't like that, and Sofia, Sofia felt disappointed of her because she thought she had failed Carlos, but Carlos forgive her because he knew that Sofia wasn't going to do any bad, and even though Daniel was flirting with her, Carlos knew that Sofia's intention wasn't bad because Sofia, said Carlos about Daniel. Sofia felt that Carlos wasn't understanding the situation, but she knew that the road ahead would be difficult, so she had to make the choice between her feelings for Carlos and her feelings for the other person. As they talked, Daniel watched them, feeling a sense of sadness. He had been secretly in love with Sofia for years, but he knew that he could never tell her. He had to support her and Carlos, even though it hurt him. Then Sofia knew she had a lot to think about, and she had to figure out what she can really wanted, and she had to be honest with herself and with Carlos. The plot twist that thrown a wrench into her plans, but she knew that she had face to face it head on at the end of the day. Andrea knew that Carlos was the one for him, and decided to move on from the feelings that she had for Daniel, as she had chosen to stay with Carlos.